Thank you. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking to you today. I'm going to share my time with a good friend of mine who's been with the Pasco County for up to 6 years, maybe going on 7 years now, but I've had him very close to me for a long time because I consider him a very smart individual, and he is. So I keep him close. So, but the fact of it is, I've, of course, been here my entire life. You hear people talking, they've been here since 1980 or 1990. I've been here since 1945. So that takes care of my 79 years of birth to now. So, but I've been very fortunate. Even in my basic training, I won the leadership for my basic training in Fort Campbell, Kentucky when I went off in the Army. I'm a Vietnam era veteran. But I've been very fortunate to be in leadership. A lot of people don't understand that when I vote sometimes, they think it's not the right way or something. The fact of it is, I only vote for the things I think will be good for folks and my citizens in Pasco County. That's the only way I vote. I don't vote because I'm a friend of yours and you're the attorney bringing in a project. I don't vote for just that. I vote if it's a good project and it's going to do good things for our community. I'd like to tell you one thing, and then I'm going to turn it over to David. Justin Hall is a very good individual, and I work with him, just like all the other speakers, and Nick, all the speakers that spoke before me, I've been able to work with. They're a part of my work that I do for Pasco County. Justin Hall, it's only been about a month ago that I came to him at an MPO board meeting and said, Justin, I need a light at Wire Road and 301. Guess what? Within 2 hours, he told me he started engineering already, and it was going to be done. And then I believe the meeting after for MPO, we voted in the monies to take care of that light. That light's coming. The shame of it's not there yet. When I first mentioned it before, we had 4 deaths this year. Right after we decided to do it, we had another death. We had 5 deaths within this year at that crossing. So it's a very dangerous crossing. And if you want to believe in one thing, believe this, that FDOT thinks about your safety more than anything else. And when they suggest things, they have the background to prove what they can do for us, and then they do it for us. But safety is number one. So we all need to think that, and I thank Secretary Gwynn and Justin for all the work they do in FD2. And they work very close to the city of Dade City, Zephyr Hills, San Antonio. On the east side, my county mass of my district is half the county. You'll find that I actually tell my other board members for the 4 of them to take care of their half of the county, and I'll take care of my half. And I say that more than not. Matter of fact, they kind of pick on me when I get started. They know it's coming, that I'm going to say that. So, but it's all good. I've been here 8 years. I got 4 more years, and then I'm going to retire. But the fact of it is, I love what I do. I go in every day whether I've got a meeting or not, and I try to work for the citizens of Pasco County every chance I get. And it can be Saturday or Sunday also, so it doesn't matter to me. You can't tell me about a piece of land or road in East Pasco County that I hadn't already seen, that I hadn't already know what goes on there, because I do. Now with that, I want to tell you, I got a gentleman coming to speak to you now. He is a very smart gentleman. He's in charge of current and future planning and also economic growth for Pasco County. David Engel is that person. It's up to you.
So, good morning, and I'm here today because Commissioner Oakley suggested at 4:20 yesterday that I was speaking today. So my presentation may have some salad dressing on it. I didn't know it was specifically transportation related, but everything we do and touch affects transportation and mobility here in the county as well as in the city. Could you just cue me up on the slide, please? So just some quick background. I have a degree in geography and regional sciences like Todd did from George Washington University, and if I told you the year I graduate, you'd know I was age qualified to be Todd Vandenberg's babysitter. I graduated from college in 1975. I graduated from Rutgers Blaustein School in Urban Planning. I have a master's in urban and regional planning. I'm a member of AICP. I was a planning director in New Jersey. I worked for the New Jersey Supreme Court. I worked for the Center of Urban Policy Research at Rutgers, and I actually was one of the authors of the New York City Housing Plan. I worked for about 9 years in private development. I worked for Olympia in York. I built 8 million square feet of offices and shopping centers, did TOD, transit-oriented development around the Amtrak main line, and also was in charge of constructing thousands of units in the Northeast. Spent time in the 90s. I worked for Merrill Lynch. I was an investment banker there and a chartered financial analyst. Worked there, and then my last stint on Wall Street, New York, was for Goldman Sachs. I was a senior research analyst and director of research for their proprietary hedge fund, Cobalt Capital. We managed about $7 billion when I was there. Retired for 14 years. When my kids grew up, I had to get a life again, so I went into public service, and I was recruited to work here in Pasco in June of 2018. So that's my background. I'm the Director of Planning, Development, and Economic Growth. We have about 100 people in our department, and we're doing some fabulous work on the long-range side. We have a comp plan rewrite that's underway now. It'll be available for public perusal in draft form the next calendar year, so 2025. And the board has allowed me to conduct some studies. We had the Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council look at our industrial properties and felt that we were underzoned for industrial. Ernst & Young just finished an analysis of our economic programming and initiatives. And also, and more importantly, Urban 3 was involved recently. It's a consultancy, a national consultancy, looking at how ways we could increase fiscal cash flow into the county coffers and decrease the cost of development on the long term. So the first chart is our population, 2050. I have to tell you that it's underestimated. Right now, you know, the American Community Surveys has us about at 589,000 people. But if you look at our data is driven by actual building permits and certificates of occupancy. Our GIS office, who issues addresses, believes we have about 725,000 people here in Pasco. And in fact, if Pasco County was a city, we'd be the second largest city in the state of Florida. Next slide, please. So I just wanted to tell you what our pipeline is in just graphic terms. So right now we have under construction about 100,000 new households coming here into Pasco. That's VOPH, it's finishing up Connected City, it's Angeline, which is 9,200 units wrapped around Moffett, and all the other MPUDs that are going in our county. And also, as a corollary or a bookend to this household growth is job growth. We have actually modeled out all of the projects that have been approved by the board that are under construction, including commercial, and we have over 100,000 new jobs coming in Pasco over the next 5 to 8 years. Next slide. And our demographics are changing. As people move in, as they get attracted to here in Pasco County, the median household income is really rising rapidly. In fact, Odessa is one of the, it's in the top 5 most affluent areas or census tracts or zip codes in the whole Tampa Bay region. And that's important. It drives the economy. More affluent people moving in, they're buying more services and goods, and the spin-off effect is very effective. And it's also increasing the level of our indigenous workforce because we are moving ahead with advanced manufacturing and life sciences. So everybody says, you're paving over Pasco. How many times have you heard that from residents that we're paving over the county? Not true. We have a plan. All of our development is concentrated in our urban service areas along our growth corridors. and over 1/3 of Pasco County will remain as permanent open space. The Board of County Commissioners has an aggressive environmental lands acquisition program, we call it ELAMP, and right now about 22% of the county is in permanent open space, and we're acquiring thousands of acres a year to put aside for future generations, and it's untouchable to development. That ELAMP program is funded through the Penny for Pasco, and thank you everybody for voting on the referendum 2 years ago. We basically hit the cover off the ball. 70% of the county voters supported the referendum to continue, and economic growth gets 9 cents of every dollar collected. So that's kind of one of our funding tools for economic development. Next slide, please. So Pasco County is imbalanced. You know it. I drove over here, State Road 54 to 56, MPUDs, garden apartments, 2 rivers, all the things that are going on 301. We're imbalanced, so we have too many households against too little jobs. And in fact, in our region, Hillsborough, Pinellas, and Pasco, Hillsborough is overweight jobs, and if you look at their land use policies in the northern part of the Hillsborough County, they just don't allow any really development, the Keystone area and also north of New Tampa. Pinellas is kind of equally situated, so we're driving planning and development to balance out our tax base and diversify our economy. So we're all the way over on the left side. Most of our workforce, as the MPO will tell you and also Ted will tell you, is people actually live here, but they don't work here. So you talk about traffic mitigation, the first thing to do is bring in jobs. What's the low-hanging fruit? If I'm working in Hillsborough County and I'm commuting over 2 hours a day in the car times 5 days a week, that's a lack of quality of life. So how do we get those people in a better situation, spend more time on their health and their families? And also, more importantly, how do we reduce volume and congestion on our road system is get people to live, work, and play within 15 minutes of their home. Next slide. So in fiscal 22, we had a pipeline of projects. These are projects that have been entitled. These are serious development possibilities with engineers and architects and land use attorneys and what's approved. And our pipeline was basically about 78,000 square feet, about 46 million square feet, 48,000 jobs. 2 years hence, in fiscal 23, next slide, we're up to 87 million square feet of non-residential development with 101,000 jobs. So that's in 2 years, we basically are up 50%. In fact, our county has been designated as the third fastest growing county in the United States. I mean, so we've got a huge responsibility now. We're at an inflection point, so we got to get it right. We got to balance our tax base. We have to bring in better outcomes with better looking development that are integrated with surrounding neighborhoods, better mobility, better design, and better quality of life. Next slide, please. So this chart is just our balancing growth process, and if you look at this chart over the last several years, we have over 1,000% gains in some areas, some of our metrics in economic development. That's all in part from our aggressive marketing policy through the Pasco EDC and the assistance we receive, for example, for Duke Energy and our economic development program. So we are really starting to even out our tax base. Next slide, please. And we're doing it better. When I first got here, basically there was incentivization of developments, but now we're more focused on infrastructure, because we were 10 years behind in our roads. We weren't keeping pace with the development cadence, and so we're giving less to the development community, and basically through the negotiation process, we've whittled it down. We were at about $35 a square foot in incentivization. The projects that came through the board queue, I got here using Mr. New York techniques of handling. We're down under $20 a square foot, and some of our recent projects were under $10 a square foot. Next slide, please. And this is just an example of other things we do. Not only do we rest on our laurels, we're using ad valorem rebates and Penny for Pasco as a vehicle to fund our economic development programs. We also actively go out for grants. So since I got here and became a director in 2020, we pulled in over $22 million at grant money, and now that I'm managing and leading a larger department. We have
A dedicated staff of friends, people, we're getting friends, big numbers over the next 2 years. Just to give you an idea, this is a chart I stole from the NPO a couple of years ago. The data is not being correct, but it shows that the county's growing in our partnerships, spending in development through the NPO, getting more dollars here in the
Side,
sorry.
should they say? Dutch.
At my age, I like what they're calling. It's hers. All right, so I'll keep going. Next slide, please. I'll speak loudly. So, what's Pasco's economy? Who's our business? You read about some wonderful businesses coming in here. But we're driven by small business. This is how you work. I mean, all of us, getting in the car early in the morning. What do we see on the road? We see pickup trucks. We see commercial vehicles. And that's really what Pasco is all about. Dedication to family, dedication to community, and hard work. And so
I'm excited to know that people have staked out their future here in Pasco County. They take on business risks, they're raising their family, they're totally committed. And we had conducted a business survey over the last several years. What is our businesses saying? They love doing business in Pasco. But most of the businesses are Pasco locally owned. And most of the businesses have less than 25 employees. And all these businesses, over a third of them, are going to be hiring over the next 3 years, and a third is going to be expanding at their existing location or finding new places in Pasco. And that's why the EDC retention and expansion program is so important to the community. Next slide. But we're not always, there are concerns. And here it is. Number one concern is flow of traffic in and around the county. And this was surprisingly, I thought that quality, availability, and stability of skilled workforce would be their second concern after traffic. It was revitalization of our unmet need communities in low-income areas. So next slide, please. So in the United States, over the last 10 years, 93% of all net new jobs have been created by small businesses, not big corporations. And if the next slide will show you that the level of job creation, the bottom line is large corporations, Fortune 500. The green line is small business contribution. So the delta is growing. So we have more entrepreneurship going on in the county and in the state and in the country. And we do have a dedicated program through our EDC and the private measures to provide entrepreneur infrastructure so we can cultivate new and growing businesses. And if you look at this chart, small business doesn't lay off people as quickly as the large corporations. They're driven by quarterly reporting. They're all most of them are publicly traded. So the economy gets soft. There's a series of layoffs, and all of a sudden they're hiring again after they just laid off within 24 months. But there's more stability in small business, and also as the economy troughs and then starts moving up in the next economic growth cycle, small business responds more favorably. Next slide. And we're doing a lot of things to support small business. We have a community development block grant capital loan program to compel and induce investment in our unmet need communities. We're actively involved in brownfield analysis. We just secured a couple of years ago a $500,000 EPA grant. We're doing a brownfield assessment study throughout the county that's trying to locate and identify environmentally impaired properties, especially in the commercial areas. And we have 13 new projects that we're applying for the EPA to do environmental cleanup. And it's the first comprehensive program in Pasco County on brownfields. We also have a landscape grant program because we know that when things look better, people tend to shop there more, and it increases the tax base of these corridors. And we have a lot of older corridors. We have 301, we have 98, we also have US 41 and US 19 on the west side. And we also have a revolving, we were going to establish a revolving loan program for small business, but working with our EDC partners, we're crafting a new program to allow access to capital for small businesses. Lenders are much tighter with their lending, and small businesses are at a total disadvantage. When they seek conventional commercial financing, they have to pay a higher interest rate, and they have to provide more equity. So we're cobbling together a program now. We have the funding to allow small businesses that are seeking commercial capital loans to the banking system to meet their equity requirement by the banks through a grant program. So stay tuned to that, and that'll be on the book shortly. So big county, and I'll touch upon a lot of stuff that's going here on the east side, but I have to look at things holistically because it affects us all, and also what we're doing in one place is kind of templating if it's successful at the other place. So right now we're focusing on the Gulfview Mall. I know you probably went there and shopped there 20 years ago. It was a big hub on the west side, a big destination. It's basically not working out anymore. We ripped down the Sears recently. We've got, and I'm working with the Gulfview Mall owners. We're working with a UK concern, and we are close to announcing a deal to come in with a massive mixed-use project there. Form-based design, as Todd pointed out, he's doing in your main commercial corridor and redevelopment area. So we have a lot of development going on, and I'm not going to, this is really an EDC project. It's Gary Plastics, but just to show you some representative development in that 78 million square feet that I spoke about before. Next slide, please. We got to talk about Moffett. Moffett is a gorilla. So back in 2019, Moffett came in and they purchased 776 acres in central Pasco. They're bordered by the Suncoast Ridge Road extension, which will be constructed by 2026 at the US 41. And they got entitlements for 24 million square feet of development. So after the wetland study and the civil analysis of the property, they can build on 550 acres. So their master plan is for 16.5 million square feet. It's going to be focused and dedicated to life sciences and finding a cure and treating cancer. In fact, Dr. Hu, the CEO at Moffett, said that his objective is to cure most types of cancer in the next decade. So this is something this is almost as provocative as Thomas Edison inventing the light bulb in New Jersey. I mean, this is societally impactful things happening here in Pasco. So they're working on phase one, and Moffett is going to be building out their own office space, their own research space, and treatment space. They'll generate about 14,500 people, full-time jobs here, new in Pasco. But the whole park is going to generate anywhere from 28 to 30,000 new jobs. So phase one will consist of the following. Right now they're going vertical. They're constructing a proton radiation treatment facility, third of its kind in the state of Florida. It'll allow deep tissue radiation treatment without impacting the healthy tissue around it. It's a more precise way of delivering radiation to the body. They have a cryo research facility that's under design now. It'll allow cancer patients to have their cancer cells, some of them removed, deep frozen, shipped here to Moffett. They're genetically altered in their DNA, and then they're re-injected back into the cancer patient, and it actively seeks out and destroys cancer. So you're using your own immunological system with the help of science to defeat cancer. So that's an alternative to chemotherapy and radiation. So this is a model of their first phase, and there are buildings going up. There'll be 3 additional office buildings there. It'll be dry wet labs and offices. And Moffett's model isn't only about them. They're working on partnerships through our EDC and their own efforts to attract other life science partners, biotech companies, and stay tuned. There's some big announcements coming down. We have the old Pasco Road, North Tampa Business Park development. It was an old spray field. It has a Zephyr Hills address, by the way. And this project, I don't want to go to that slide yet, but so this project was interesting. It was a county piece of property, no tax revenue. The spray field was decommissioned because the soil didn't have good perk. It was too silty. So we came in ahead. We got a $3 million job creation grant from the state of Florida. We actually ripped out all the infrastructure. We created a development-ready site. We surplused the property. And now we have 880,000 square feet. There's building 1 is fully occupied, and it's blessed by that new interchange that Justin spoke about just before. Next slide. So I want to talk about a little infrastructure. So we've got development pockets all over the area for growth and focusing on job creation. A more important area that's closer to Zephyr Hills is the I-75 52 corridor. We have over 13 million square feet entitled, and most of it is going to be fully under construction within the next 6 months. But we didn't have the roads to really service this. So we've been using penny for Pasco very creatively. So we cobbled together on the upper left-hand side, that's the northwest. The Heinz Company is coming in with a massive project with 3.5 million square feet of distribution industry. Just across the I-75 corridor, we have the North Point development, which is a building, one of the largest in Florida, 1.4 million square foot footprint with a mezzanine, almost 2 million square feet. Target has a lease in that property, and I don't know if they're going to use the whole building, but that building will be a major industrial and distribution hub. Just south, on the southeastern side, is Double Branch. Now, this is a great story. They were entitled for 4,725,000 square feet. Yesterday, the Board of County Commissioners upped the entitlement, and they're going to come in with an additional 3 million square feet. They were on a distribution footprint, but the markets have changed, and they feel very empowered that the market is now shifting to higher paying, creating more jobs into advanced manufacturing and life sciences. And we didn't give them an extra nickel in incentives. So what we did was we cobbled together a road system. So we have a road that'll go under I-75 called the Ozzie Road Extension. So that'll provide an outlet around that congested I-75 52 corridor. And we're building an east-west road south of 52, extending Tyndall Road through VOPH to connect the Super Park with the Employment Center. And so that's what we've been doing with the taxpayer money. We're not giving away charity anymore. What we do is we underwrite and invest in the infrastructure. And this is very interesting. We're rarely, this is not costing the taxpayer anything, because what we're doing is we use ad valorem tax rebates. Developer pays taxes on buildings in year one. Then we allow them up to 50% rebate of that tax money in the following year once they pay the bill. So we're taking the revenue stream and we're dedicating half of it to road and utility master infrastructure. So that's the way it's operating. We do use penny for Pasco, but we use it very judiciously. Next slide, please. And this is that I-75 gateway, the Heinz project. We don't have to go into that. Next slide. And then this is the I-75 Logistics Center. This darn building is so long that I couldn't even take a picture of the whole building. It takes you over 5 minutes to walk from one end to the other. It's over a half a mile long. And when they just shelled the building, I brought my golf. I have a mat with a tee on it. I tried to drive one end to the other, and I couldn't do it, even with the rolling on the concrete. And this was a very interesting building because it's so large. And because we have such intense rainfalls during our wet season, they had to put on 4 or 5 courses of block on top of the concrete panels, because we had to peak the building so the water would run off and wouldn't pool in the middle of the roof. I mean, enormous. So please go out there and take a look. It's phenomenal. Next slide. And so one of the things that we have to do is create a sense of place here in Pasco County. Zephyr Hills has a sense of place, Dade City, Newport Richey, but the county does not. So we're creating urbanized downtown nodes throughout the county using form-based design and concentrated development. In fact, just yesterday, the Board of County Commissioners approved a incentive project for a downtown for Wesley Chapel. And I was saying to the board, Wesley Chapel used to be such a quiet little place 40, 50 years ago. It was blessed with a robust citrus and cattle industry. And Commissioner Oakley was selling citrus out there on the road, the mayor of Wesley Chapel, as they called him back then. But now, according to Consumer Affairs, Wesley Chapel is the most desirable place to live in the state of Florida. And it was ranked on a variety of metrics: safety, quality of life, schools, activities, and also number 2 for the most safe place to live in Florida. So people say, well, new development's bringing in crime. New development is, creating an undesirable place. The data doesn't support that. And a lot of people are overwhelmed with the pace of development. It is overwhelming. But the point is that a lot of people like to live here in Pasco. They want to have entertainment close to their doors. They want to have parks. They want to have family activities. We are a family county, and we're getting that. Our population is getting younger, and the families are coming in, and they're staking a future here in Pasco. This is Double Branch up at 52 and 75. Notice the form-based design, another downtown for this area. And Zephyr Hills has one right now. Avalon Park, Wesley Chapel, right on County Road 54, is a urbanized, form-based downtown with 6 to 7 blocks of entertainment with shops and offices underneath and residential on top. And that's what Todd is trying to do with their CRA. So this was a Greenfields project, but it's the same theme: concentrating development, concentrating service demands on the community, and also saving land. And in fact, in the Wesley Chapel project I just spoke about, Wiregrass Legacy, we took what normal suburban development take place. It would have taken 90 acres. Concentrating it, we're only using 30 acres of land. Next slide, please. I'm almost done. That's just a bird's eye view of some of the form-based designs, and that project is under construction in about 2 months. And we have little hubs of activities in our MPUDs, and that's over in Land O'Lakes. And we incentivize an office building that's almost occupied, and there's another one behind it. And we also have some organic, privately driven incubator space and shared offices. That's Foreign Co. They're looking for more space. The EDC also has Smart Start. So we're investing a lot of money and effort into incubators. So thank you so much, and I look forward to answering questions later. Thank you.